Recently, when Dirk Nowitzki reached 30,000 career points, everybody, ESPN, all the big wigs, all of the medium size sports websites, and including the little small channels on YouTube, including myself, we all mentioned it, right? But yet, Dirk Nowitzki reached a milestone last night, albeit in a loss to the Phoenix Suns, that I see absolutely no mention of whatsoever. None. And pissed me off so much I'm going to make a video about it because I knew it was coming soon. I just thought I wouldn't be the only one to mention this. But in the 198 loss to the Phoenix Suns last night, well, actually Saturday night because it's now Monday morning, Dirk Nowitzki scored 23 points. With that, he now stands at 30,041 career points. Now, when you incorporate professional basketball, which should always include the American Basketball Association, that surpassed the total that Julius Erving had between 1971 and 1987, when he scored 30,026 career points. That pushed Dirk Nowitzki to 6th all-time in professional basketball history, trailing only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and Wilt Chamberlain. So he's 6th all-time in professional basketball. Why does this piss me off so much? Because there are various teams in the NBA that were once part of the American Basketball Association. The Denver Nuggets, the Indiana Pacers, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Brooklyn Nets, formerly the New Jersey Nets. When they were in the ABA, they were the New York Nets. Excuse me. What really pisses me off about it is that, to my recollection, there have been 3 teams that were formerly in the ABA to make the NBA Finals: the Spurs, the Nets, and the Pacers. And what really aggravates me is that one of those teams, the Spurs, is arguably the most successful team of the last 20 years. I think it is, because the Lakers have had stretches where they weren't so good. The Spurs have been a staple in the last 20 years, with the exception of that one year when David Robinson was injured. The Spurs have been a staple of excellence. All right? 5 NBA championships. Most successful franchise in the last 20 years. And you can't mention their ABA pass. It makes no sense whatsoever to me. It's very frustrating, you know. In my opinion, Moses Malone, if you take his ABA career, he becomes arguably a top 10 player. Arguably now. That's pushing it. But he becomes arguably a top 10 player. And perhaps in some people's eyes, still the greatest prep to pro player of all time, rivaling LeBron James. George Gervin moves to 26,595 points, ahead of John Havlicek, professional basketball history. Rick Barry moves to 25,279 points, I believe, tying Reggie Miller total from a span of more years played. I think Miller played, 18 seasons, while if you combine professional and NBA, I think Rick Barry played 16 years. Or was it 15 years? I think it's 15 years. It's just that I don't like the fact that you can't penalize the fact that so many players left the NBA for the same reason why a lot of players sometimes go to bad teams for money. And back then, these guys weren't making nearly the type of money that you make now. You know, you can't fault Zelmo Beatty for leaving the NBA to go to the ABA, leaving the Atlanta Hawks to play for the Utah Stars, because they're offering him a contract worth $50 or $75,000 more when he has a family to feed. Back then, when players often had to have a second job during the off season, you can't fault a Rick Barry being offered a near $1 million contract to go play in the ABA for a contract that's worth 40% more than what he's getting paid in the NBA, or whatever the total might be. You get what I'm saying? You can't fault Julius Erving for being paid probably close to millionaire status with the ABA, while in the NBA, players, teams don't want to get him because, well, we're not used to having a hot dog playing like that. That style doesn't translate well to our NBA. And plus, you don't have a jumper. But the ABA wanted to welcome him with welcome arms. He became the face of the ABA. So you want to penalize that? That makes no sense. I don't like the fact that the NBA does not recognize the ABA. And they should combine their statistics. It doesn't make any sense. Why don't you combine their statistics? Why don't you acknowledge the ABA when you have their teams? Okay, you took the three-point line away from the ABA. They were the ones that instituted the three-point line, not the NBA. You got all these different things you've taken from the ABA. The slam dunk contest, okay, there's another one. You take all these things from the ABA, but you don't acknowledge their fucking achievements. It makes no sense. It pisses me off. It pisses me off to no end, man. I remember when Deron Williams scored 57 points, right, for the they were still the New Jersey Nets at the time. And they were saying, well, that's the franchise record for most points in the game. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not the most points a Nets player had ever scored. It's 63 by Julius Erving. True, he did it in like 4 overtimes or something like that, but that's the record. It's 63 by Julius Erving. Remember the ABA, folks.